Good evening. Or perhaps not. The atmosphere tonight is particularly heavy. The air in these catacombs seems to thicken with dust, and with certain thoughts that refuse to leave me be. I've lit a few more candles than usual, as if their flames could ward off a chill that emanates not from the stone walls, but germinates in the mind after reading certain particular manuscripts. The work progresses slowly. In one of the oldest, most deeply hidden shelves, where the wood is nearly black from damp and age, I came across a collection of loose, unbound pages. Notes. Not chronicles of kings or heroic epics, but annotations, suspiciously similar to those I myself make in the margins. They are the writings of a scholar, likely from a bygone era, who undermines everything we humans believe to be true. His theory is so terrifying, so revolutionary, that at first I dismissed it as heresy. But the longer I ponder it, the deeper I delve into the canonical texts, the more disturbing coincidences I find. Today I will share this dangerous knowledge with you. Please, keep an open mind and keep your sanity. The theory I found is as follows. We, men, are not the children of Ilúvatar at all. We are a race created not by God, but by the Valar. A mortal sapient race, but devoid of the true immortal soul, the Fëa, with which the elves are endowed. We are functional beings. We have one strategic purpose: to serve as perfect, self-regenerating foot soldiers in the great war of the Valar against Melkor. We are to fight his orcs. We are to occupy his forces. We are to be the perfect, disposable fuel for a great war that is in truth being waged far above our heads. Is this madness? Of course it is. It is heresy of the highest order. And yet, allow me to guide you through these ancient pages, and I will show you the passages that struck this unknown author. Passages that, with a bit of cynicism, form a terrifying picture. First, origin. In the Ainulindale, the music of the Ainur, Eru Ilúvatar reveals his great theme to his spirits, the Valar, and then he shows them the elves, the firstborn, the children of Ilúvatar. Their coming is anticipated, awaited. It is a great event. And men? Men are mentioned almost as an aside. And when the time comes, I will awaken the others, and the children of Ilúvatar will arise in that time, which he called for himself alone. That is all. No fanfare, no anticipation, simply, oh, and I'll wake these others up too. This is the first crack in the monolith. Why are the afterborn treated as a secondary addition? Or perhaps they were not part of the original theme. Perhaps they were composed in later by the Valar, once they understood the scale of the threat from Melkor. Second, mortality. The gift of Ilúvatar. That is what we call it. The gift that distinguishes us from the elves. But is it truly a gift, or could it be a design feature? The author of these notes argues, the Valar needed a soldier that would not burden Arda forever. A soldier whose death would be final, leaving no immortal spirit that would need to be housed in the halls of Mandos. A soldier whose losses are clean, definitive, a cheap, efficient, mass-produced product. Our so-called journey beyond the confines of the world is simply System shutdown. Decomposition. Recycling. There is no soul, so there is nowhere to go. We simply cease to be. This would explain why the Valar care so little for us. You don't destroy your precious handcrafted tool, but a used, mass-produced product, well, you can always make more. Third, the wrath of Ilúvatar. Consider what happened to the Númenóreans. That entire people, the flower of humanity, was literally wiped from the face of the earth, drowned. Millions of lives. They died for the sin of pride, for breaking the ban of the Valar and sailing to Aman. But let's think. The Valar, instead of meting out punishment themselves, relinquished their authority and called upon Ilúvatar. And it was he who wrought the destruction. Why? Because only the Creator can annul his own work. Or perhaps only the designer can deactivate a faulty product that rebelled and threatened his real children, the elves. This was not the anger of a god toward his beloved children. This was an engineer pressing the kill switch on a creation that had slipped its leash and threatened his real children. This was not a flood sent in anguish. It was disposal. And this leads us to the fourth point, the Valar and their favorites. It was always known that the heart of the Valar beat stronger for the elves. For them, Valinor was built. They were invited to the Undying Lands. Their sufferings fueled the wars of Beleriand. And what of men? We were given Númenor, a beautiful but mortal island in the ocean, a permitted pasture. And then when the War of Wrath ended and Morgoth was defeated, what happened? The Valar evacuated their favorites, the wayward Noldor, to Aman. And what did they do with Middle-earth? They left it. They left it as a training ground, an arena for us, men, and for the remaining servants of Melkor, orcs, trolls, other foul creatures, so that we would keep each other occupied, so that we would wage an endless war that contains the remnants of evil, no longer threatening the true eternal residents of Aman. We are the forward guard, the cheap army tasked with ensuring the problem doesn't spill beyond its designated perimeter. Is this not the most magnificent strategic game in history? Create two opponents, let them fight each other, and observe from a safe distance. The author of these notes goes even further. He speculates that the orcs might be the mirror image of men, similarly created, artificially, by the other side. Melkor, seeing that the Valar had created the perfect, fleshy, obedient tool for war, could not leave it unanswered, and so he created his own. Of inferior quality, from worse materials, more prone to corruption, but operating on the same principle. A mass, mortal, sapient, but soulless army. The war between men and orcs is not a war between the children of Ilúvatar and a filthy parody of life. It is a war between two competing technologies, two different models of the same weapon. This would explain why we are so similar in our destructiveness, why it is so easy for us to fall, why we succumb to evil so readily. Because we lack the spark of true divine origin. We have only a simulation, an algorithm that can be reprogrammed. Is this possible? Is our entire history, our faith, our hopes for what lies beyond the world, all based on a foundation of lies? Are we merely tools in the hands of gods who do not even consider us their children? The librarian's voice trembles. He takes a deep breath. The sound of him cleaning his glasses is audible. There is, however, another side to these notes. A few pages that appear to be a later addition, perhaps even in a different hand. This second hand attempts to find counterarguments, and I must cite them for balance. First, free will. In the legendarium, men are beings of extraordinarily strong will. They often act contrary to destiny, contrary to the will of the Valar, contrary to everything. Beren wins a Silmaril. Tuor is accepted among the elves.
Aragorn renews the kingdom. If we were merely soulless automatons, would such strength of will, such a capacity for both great good and great evil, be possible? Could a program rebel in such a way? Second, the human soul. It is said that its fate is unknown even to the Valar. This is an argument for its uniqueness, not against it. If it did not exist, the Valar would know perfectly well. Its mystery, its distinctness, may be precisely the sign that we originate directly from Ilúvatar, and not from the Valar, who are merely his subordinates. Third, the covenant. The Valar make a covenant with men, with the Edain. They gift them Númenor. Would they make a covenant with a tool? Would they reward their hammer for a good strike? This seems illogical. It suggests a relationship, perhaps not parental, but one based on respect and agreement. And finally, the last, strongest argument, sacrifice. If men are merely empty tools, then what is sacrifice? What is love? What is honor? Are they just advanced algorithms designed to increase our combat effectiveness? Can a simulation love as deeply as Beren and Luthien loved? Could a program choose death for a higher ideal, as many human heroes have? This seems insufficient, too simple to explain the complexity of the human heart. So where does the truth lie? Are we the beloved, though imperfect and rebellious, children of God? Or are we merely advanced, self-aware biological robots created to fight and die in someone else's war? These notes, they give me no peace. I now look upon our history, our sufferings, our hopes differently. Are all these wars, these falls and uprisings, our struggle for survival and meaning? Or are they merely the execution of a program, the completion of a task? I don't know. I truly don't know. As a librarian, I should reject this theory as heretical nonsense. As a man, I feel a chill that penetrates deeper than any chill from these cellars. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Perhaps Ilúvatar gave the Valar the right to design us, to improve us, and they, in their limited wisdom, seeing the need, created us as we are, mortal, valiant, imperfect. And Ilúvatar breathed into us a spark of free will, making us something more than they intended. But that is only my hope. The manuscript does not confirm this. I must end now. The candles are burning down, and the shadow in the corner of the library seems denser than usual. Please keep these words to yourselves. Some ideas are like a plague. Once released into the world, they begin to live a life of their own, and they consume those who carry them. Until we meet again at the next, I hope, less disquieting manuscript.
If today's tale has stirred your thoughts and you wish to support the continued exploration of the Old Librarian, I would be deeply honored if you might consider subscribing and leaving a like. Each such gesture is like adding a new marginal note, evidence that someone has been here, listened, and found these words worth preserving. But most importantly, I should very much like to hear what you make of today's subject. Does this theory of men's artificial origin resonate with you, or do you find it entirely without merit? The light of truth often emerges from the sparks of many minds. Please do share your reflections in the comments below. I give you my word that every thought shall be read. And now, the hour grows late, the lamp flickers low, and the ink grows faint. But we shall return to these shelves soon enough. Until we meet again.